This is going to be your ultimate guide for cooking in Pokemon Quest. This video is going to cover all of the resources that you need to know to understand absolutely everything there is to know about cooking in this game, because it's a lot more detailed than just you throw a few things in a pot, a Pokemon shows up, and eventually you understand how it works. No. There's a lot of little details that you either just struggle to remember to learn because there's different recipes, there's different rarities, there's different Pokemon, there's different levels, IVs, experience, it's all kinds of crazy stuff. So first off, we are going to start with Cerebi, where I learned quite a few things recently that I didn't know. So over the last month of the game, we figured almost everything out about this. That, okay, it started off with the cooking pots. What level do Pokemon appear with what cooking pot? Well, the bronze cooking pot, which you receive early on in the game, level 20 and above Pokemon will appear. Silver cooking pot is going to be level 40 plus, gold cooking pot is going to be level 70 plus. So if you're trying to figure out which Pokemon you're trying to get for the level versus the amount of ingredients required, that's going to be pretty good right there. But then this surprised me because I noticed that some of my Pokemon that I got in like silver, bronze cooking pots that I leveled up really high, they weren't as strong as my naturally level 90 gold cooking pot Pokemon, and that's because of these stat bonuses. So this is kind of like a new thing. I think Cerebi posted it about less than a week ago at the time of recording this video, and it even gives you a better IV range. So you might notice there's also IVs in Pokemon. You get two identical Pokemon of the same level, but then some of them are going to have a few points difference. So that means a gold cooking pot Pokemon can have 390 more points in a stat than just the standard cooking pot, if that's if you get lucky on a 10 IV roll. So there's IVs in this game, there's stat bonuses depending on what you cook, and that is going to be something massive. As for the recipes, as for the ingredients, depending on what Pokemon you're looking for, you can go and learn the recipes to make the type of Pokemon right there. I recommend checking out Cerebi, or also, you'll eventually learn it, and then it works out pretty well. As for like a really quick update about how cooking works, if this is your first Pokemon Quest cooking guide, it says like a whole lot of hard things and a few minerals. Well, what's a mineral? It's kind of straightforward and kind of not. Minerals are going to be fossils and icy rocks. Mushrooms are going to be tiny mushrooms, ball mushrooms, and this is where I got confused. Blackberry counts as sweet, and honey counts as sweet, but then root and apricorns are going to count as plants. So if you see something that asks for plants, sweet things, hard, soft, at least hard and soft are kind of like shown right here, so hard and small ingredients, and then you're good to go. Also, if we go back to this list right here, it does tell us how things work. So if you want a normal quality Pokemon, 0 precious ingredients, 1 is going to give you good, 3 is going to give you very good, and then 5 precious ingredients is going to give you special, and that is going to be the amount of time that it takes for that to kind of finish cooking. So potentially 8 turns to cook for a special gold cooking pot Pokemon. That's going to take up a lot of stamina charge, but you can receive really powerful Pokemon because of it. So those are just the very basics of cooking, but what about actually getting the Pokemon that you want? I did a video recently showing like all the special recipes, all of the rare Pokemon, and I even did some typing breakdowns, but I just decided it would be better to show off the actual resource that I use, and that is going to be this right here, the Pokemon Quest Recipes.me, or it's called PokeQuestRecipes.me, link in the description below, and this is just pretty much the ultimate resource, because you click on either the type or the Pokemon that you're going for, and it shows you everything, and it also gives you the recipes. So what makes Pokemon Quest cooking so complex and pretty much impossible unless you are writing down every single recipe you are experimenting with, or you just like you have to either use a resource like this, write it down, or try to figure it out, is there's different qualities, there's different recipes. As we can see right here, for the Mulligan Stew a la Cube, that's a lot of different Pokemon that can appear. If we want to make the special recipe, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's just tons of different recipes that can be made. Same goes for good, normal, and anything like that. Now, another interesting quirk about the Mulligan Stew is that once you put in 2 rainbow matter, it's pretty much going to mulligan as long as you put in like different ingredients from there, because it's just not going to meet the requirements for any of the other cooking recipes. So it's really easy to make a very good or special if you have some extra rainbow matter from here. But then what about red Pokemon? What about blue? What about water types? What about normal? Well, whenever I'm doing like whenever I use the special guide, so when I made my like how to get all the rare Pokemon, it's pretty much just off of this and then going for the special recipes, but there's recipes for everything else, and that's pretty much going to be from here. So I think it's just best to understand this resource and then use it as you need. Just keep this as a tab open, and then you can either look it up by the typing, or you can look it up by the Pokemon. Like, oh, I want a shelter, mouthwatering dip a la cube, good recipe, and then shows you all of the different combinations depending on what you have, what's available, stuff like that. Now there's also some really interesting recipe logic that comes into play, because if something overwrites, then it's going to make something else. So yeah, this is actually for the gray recipes. So there's 3 ways of obtaining shelter. It's either going to be through the water, so the mouthwatering dip, the gray recipe, but also blue. So depending on what you're using to cook, you can actually receive those Pokemon. And even then, like, okay, so you need good quality. Well, the Mystical Shell counts as a precious ingredient. So Mystical Shell plus all gray, if you have an excess of Mystical Shells, instead of just putting like a Ball Mushroom or something, that's going to give you a good gray recipe. So even showing some of the unnecessary ones, I guess this actually works for giving you a good water recipe in a pretty weird way. Like that just throwing in a Mystical Shell, it wants to make an Ambrosia of Legends, but at the same time, if you put in 4 of the same color, it's just going to overwrite that and then not make you an Ambrosia. And this can still make the water recipe. You just need soft and blue. So you can get a lot of use out of just kind of experimenting with this and then using the resources that are available for you, because some of them are just going to be very easy. Like, let's go and find Abra. Abra, like, that's going to be your standard recipe. So there's also like a recommended standard basic recipe that you can just commit to your memory. Like, I haven't had to look up the brain food a la cube for normal if I'm going to farm for like Abra, Alakazam, or something like that. Just throw down the 3 Blackberries and then the 2 Apricorn. Same is going to go for something like the normal rock recipe. 3 Apricorns, 2 Fossil, and then you're good to go. So it's just kind of going to scale with the Pokemon that are available and also the recipes that you need to know. And then the Pokemon Quest Discord is also a very good resource that you can usually ask a question, get a pretty solid answer, or just like read what people have to say about the game and absorb knowledge. Like that's where all of this stuff about bulk up slowly started to emerge, and some other really powerful Pokemon and really cool team concepts, and then this image right here. So this picture is pretty much like one of the more staples that before the Pokemon Quest recipes to figure out like every single Pokemon for every single recipe combination, this is just a really good quick lookup guide that if you know the Pokemon that you're looking for, like, oh, I know that Abra is going to be with the normal brain food a la cube, how do I make that again? Then you just want to like have this tab somewhere as well. Also gives you a little bit of extra good information, so it shows you the tiers, shows you how long it takes for some to cook, gives you the precious special ingredients, stuff like that. Rainbow Matter counts as 2. Dratini is the only dragon type Pokemon, doesn't have a special dish. Cook special blue tier soda for your best chance. Clefairy, fairy type Pokemon, doesn't have a dish, special gray tier porridge, and then that's how you can get the Clefairy. So showing you all these different breakdowns, and then like, yeah, these are going to be all the recipes. So if you just want to add the recipes to your book to remember what it is, like how many sweet, how many hard items, what ingredients, what the breakdown is right there, then you can pretty much just use that. Like this is going to be the very basic recipe lookup. So then you make it once and then you can add it all. So if you just want to unlock all the recipes, it's also a quest or challenge inside the game. So you do receive some PM tickets for completing it, and that just feels good. Like if you don't need to look it up, it's just good to know, hey, Veggie Smoothie, whole lot of plants, few soft things, I know what that means, and now I'm good to go. So that's pretty much it. Like between the Discord, Cerebi, the charts, PokeQuest.me, you can eventually just learn everything there is to know and then get the Pokemon that you want and then start having a very efficient play of Pokemon Quest. And I think that's the best way of doing this kind of video. At first I was just going to do like all the individual typings, but it seems really silly, huh? If I'm just like, here's how you make all the ground type Pokemon. Yay, instead of just like, here's the resource and now you can do it for yourself, because it's going to be better for you to like just look up the Pokemon you're targeting instead of sit through a video, try to figure out the recipe, and then worry about the RNG behind it. And then to finish the video, I want to put in some personal advice from what I've learned with over 100 hours of gameplay in Pokemon Quest. Now let's say we have like some kind of random recipe cooking. I have a lot of red stuff, so let's just go and make a red soup. But I mean, say we're making like a bronze, a silver, or gold cooking pot, and there's only a few turns left that, you know, what I don't want to do expeditions. I just need this Pokemon now. Like, what if it is a silver cooking pot that, hey, that's actually going to be a very powerful Pokemon. You just need that level 90 from gold. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into an expedition, I'm going to give up immediately, and then I'm going to progress the turn timer for the cooking, because it even says, like, one of these in-game tips is, don't worry, if you fail an expedition, your cooking will still resume. Well, this is actually one of the worst things that you can do in the entire game, because you will run out of resources. Once you make it to the late game and you're actually using 100 ingredients per gold cooking pot, this is just going to kind of screw you over in every way for multiple ways. That for starters, you're not ticking down on your time. So you're going to be using more PM tickets to refill your battery more often. The expedition bonus only goes up on a successful completion as as well. So you're not getting the gold power stones, and these are going to be some of the most important things for the late game because you're getting all these extra benefits. Getting hit healing plus critical damage on a very powerful gold stone might be what you need to actually complete the dungeon that you're stuck on, instead of farming up for another Pokemon for move training or experience training and stuff like that. At the very least, go into some kind of like place that you can clear easily. You know, if you can clear something in a minute or less, I strongly recommend that you go for this. Because look, like, there's also some ways that you can cheese it as well. If you notice right here in the top right corner, there's only 3 stages to this expedition. This expedition is going to take about a minute to complete, if not less, especially if you're just going around one-shotting everything. So you're getting some resources, and that's going to be more important than skipping. I mean, think about it. Say we are cooking for a gold cooking pot, that's going to take 4 turns. Well, right now, I haven't even completed this one yet. I'm already at 36 because I have the Cushions, I have the Gengar Balloon and stuff like that. So if at any point you're struggling for ingredients, also I need to quit out really quick on this one. Do as I say, not as I do, because I'm at Happenstance Island. I'm at the end game, and I don't want to beat this Rapidash because then that means I'm going to get like a really garbage expedition bonus. But you know, that's kind of the idea right there. We just paid off 1 gold cooking pot almost, just from doing one of the in 1/4 of the time. So you're not going to run out of resources if you're just doing that. So instead of skipping ahead, try to do a quicker expedition and then make up for some of the resources that you would otherwise be losing. As for decorations, I've said this many times already, you know, my top 10 tips and tricks and what to do and how to spend your PM tickets. Get the Cushions first. Cushions, best thing in the game. You're always going to be starved. You're always going to need ingredients at some point, because you're going to go, hey, I need to train a new Pokemon. Hey, it turns out one of my Pokemon has bad bingo bonuses. And then you're going to farm like 20 golden cooking pots until you're out of ingredients, and then you're struggling to get by. Well, the Cushion, that's going to give you 1.5x. The Gengar Balloon, as pay to win as it is, this Gengar Balloon, depending on how much you love and play and enjoy the game, is almost worth the $18 in itself, but that's also just based off of like all the extra additional content. It's just really good to buy the Expedition 3-pack, get 190 PM tickets a day, bonus 300, all these Pokemon, the extra cooking pots, stuff like that. So yeah, that's another thing. Cooking pots, DLC only. That you cannot have 4 cooking pots without paying $30. So the Ultra Expedition Pack doubles your cooking output, gives you double ingredients, double experience, extra battery charge, and then PM tickets from the Ultra Ball. Kind of the best thing ever. And if you want the full gameplay experience, then you will have to go for the Expedition 3-pack bundle. I don't know if it's ever going to go on sale or anything like that, but if you feel this game is worth it, then that's definitely it. And then just get all the fountains. Get all this stuff first, and then it works out. There's a few other things you can do. The Meowth Balloon, number of ingredients received from recycling. I rushed the Meowth Balloon, and it was honestly one of the greatest mistakes I've ever made. Instead of getting the Meowth Balloon, instead of getting the Squirtle Flag, you're just better off getting all the Cushions and like a Mechanical Tauros, Blastoise Fountain, Charizard Torch, or a Venusaur Planter. Whatever you're saving up for, that's going to be some pretty good stuff right there, because I think you only get 3 ingredients from recycling. So even with the Meowth Balloon and the Squirtle Flag, you're getting 9 ingredients per recycled stone, or like 9 to 12, 9 to 15. It's not worth it when if having all the Cushions, having all the other stuff is going to give you potentially 80 to 100 ingredients. So I think that's kind of really the best advice I have to throw on top of it. Use the resources, learn the game, and just understand that this game is going to starve you for ingredients nonstop. It's going to be brutal because, yeah, if we're cooking, as you can see, look at that, 900, 600, 900. Well, I'm going for water-type Pokemon. So because of that, boom. There goes all of my ingredients. Isn't that fun? So if you're trying to target specific Pokemon as well, say you want Dragonite, so you're going to be making a lot of blue soda, then buy the Blastoise Fountain first. If you're going for an Alakazam, then I think, yeah, we already talked about this. So depending on the recipes, depending on the Pokemon that you know you want, you use the PokeQuest recipes.me, you see the recipe, you buy the ingredients, you buy the items, and that is going to be the best way for optimizing your play. And then hopefully you shouldn't run out as much, because this game starts getting very resource draining, especially if you're trying to learn a new move after a lot of failures, especially if you're trying to level like a level 90 to level 100. Just always keep cooking gold cooking pots, always be cooking, and never run out of ingredients. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.